What's going on?
I do not know where my daughter is.
Did she run away?
No.
Nobody else in the house has seen her?
No. It's just me and her.
Now they're saying that you're a person of interest now.
Brianna Shantae Williams, a 27-year-old Navy petty officer stationed in Jacksonville, Florida, reported her 5-year-old daughter, Taylor Williams, as missing on November 6, 2019. She told authorities that she saw her daughter, Taylor, in bed around midnight the night prior, but the next morning, she was gone and the back door of the home was unlocked. A massive search effort and investigation followed, an Amber Alert was issued, and multiple volunteers joined the search for Taylor. Only a day later, on November 7th, Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams held a press conference to announce that Brianna stopped cooperating with investigators. Brianna was not put in custody or under arrest at this time, but she had stopped answering questions when detectives pointed out inconsistencies with her story about Taylor's disappearance. Among the false information Brianna gave to authorities were details of Taylor's daycare and other statements. She claimed she drove to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to her parents' place to pick up Taylor sometime in October 2019, prior to Taylor's disappearance. However, Williams' grandparents said they had only seen the child about a year ago. Maurice Tate, the father of Taylor Williams, who lives in Alabama, told news sources that it had been a while since he had last seen Taylor as well. Another relative later indicated it had been at least 2 years since Maurice had seen Taylor. 4 days later, Brianna became a person of interest in Taylor's disappearance, and members of the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department's Urban Search and Rescue team traveled to Demopolis, Alabama, to continue searching for Taylor. Search teams, with the assistance of canines and some high-tech tools, planned to search a 25-mile radius around Demopolis, where Brianna Williams had friends, and her hometown of Linden, Alabama. The next morning, on November 12th, search teams uncovered human remains in a wooded area in Alabama during the search for Taylor. The same day that the human remains, which were believed to be Taylor's but were pending identification, were found, Brianna was admitted to the hospital for an attempted overdose. Simultaneously, Sheriff Williams announced during a press conference that Brianna had been arrested on charges of child neglect and giving false information to investigators in search for her daughter. Duval County jail records show Brianna Williams was booked in absentia on 2 counts of child neglect and giving false information to law enforcement during an investigation, and the 3 charges carried a total bond of $1.1 million. On November 25, 2019, the human remains that were found in a wooded area of Alabama were confirmed to be the remains of Taylor Williams. An autopsy report stated that medical experts couldn't determine how she had died. However, the autopsy pushed suspicions of murder. Brianna appeared in front of a judge in Duval County for the first time on January 8, 2020. She pleaded not guilty to the charges of child neglect and lying to the police. The state attorney's office released a list of discovery items a few weeks later, and in June of 2020, hundreds of pieces of evidence in the investigation into Taylor's death were made public. Detectives talked about finding children's clothing in a bedroom carpet stained with feces at their apartment, her car reeking of decomposition, and the home on Ivy Street that did not look like a child was living there. Investigators also procured Williams' cell phone records to track her movements, showing she made 3 trips to Alabama, the 3rd to Demopolis, tracing her to just about where the body was ultimately found. Neighbors testified about smelling something bad coming from the young woman's storage closet, and the child often spotted wandering unattended looking for her mother prior to her disappearance. No definite evidence of violence was found on the Taylor's bones, but linear enamel hypoplasia on the skull and teeth of Williams pointed toward possible neglect or grave illness. Authorities accused Brianna of torturing, maliciously punishing, and caging her daughter between April 2019, when Taylor was last seen, and the time she went missing. A thorough investigation also revealed traces of fecal matter, soiled clothes, and soup cans in Brianna Williams' Honda Accord. As found in her closet, alongside a search through Brianna's computer, showed that she had been searching for information about malnutrition and refeeding syndrome. Brianna Williams was then accused of neglecting Taylor to the point of starvation. She pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and signed a guilty plea on February 17, 2022. She is currently serving time at the Lowell Correctional Institution in Florida, according to state records. Taylor Rose Williams was 5 years old when she had unfortunately passed away. She was born on February 12th and was described by family members as being just an armed child who was sweet and did nothing to nobody.